What is up, everybody? Welcome in today. Well, it's kind of weird, right? Because, really, it's not everybody. It's really members only. So, welcome, members, to this month's Soya Club Online. And we're super stoked to have it. We're super stoked to be here. We're also just stoked to have this awesome club that we get to participate in every single month. So, first things first is just a huge shout out to you guys for being here. I know it's early, right? It's early for a lot of us. It's only 9 a.m. here in Las Vegas. Our Alaskaners, it's 8 a.m. For our Hawaiianers.
Also 8 a.m.
Is it actually 8?
Yeah.
I thought they're 2 hours behind us right now. Check me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's 7 in Hawaii right now. First live for me. Now, guys, let me know right now how many of you this is your first time being live for this Soya Club Online. Okay?
Members only.
I noticed you got a new number. Nope. Same number. But we also have a way to text everyone now if you sign up for our texting service, which is the number above that Remy's popping in there into the chat. So,
That's our
a
usual.
lot of first timers here. And guys, this is a little bit different than our normal stuff. Why? Because we get to be a lot more relaxed. We get to be a little bit less formal, and we get to show you some awesome products and just some things that we've been working on. And a lot of these things we don't talk about, we don't actually do. So it's awesome. It's awesome. So it is awesome. First, any questions for me before we dive on into it? Because I'll give you kind of the layout of the event. Okay? The layout of the event as well. And two, guys, since there's no chairs, there's no showing products, you gotta move around a little bit more, which is my best way to present things personally.
You're a pacer.
I'm a pacer. I'm actually one of my favorite places to present is in Pingwich, Utah. They have a big stage, and the stage comes out on both edges, and so you can walk all the way around and stand on the very edge here and talk to the people here, and then talk to the people here. I'm one of the stage control kind of people. I can never stand in one place for too long. I just want to say a big thank you for last month's Minky tutorial. I ordered Minky right after last month's live and made my first large Minky quilt. Easy peasy. It really is. It really is an easy project, and it's good to have. Now, we are going to talk about a couple different things. Let me give everyone the layout here of the land, which is the following. There are 3 demos every single time, and we normally offer 2 to 3 discounts along with our show today. In addition to that, there's a free gift just for purchasing something on soyaquilting.com. You have to select it and add it to your cart. It's limit 1 per person. Okay? So if you want to buy the gift 10 times, you'll only get it once. Okay? Also,
but you do have to add it to your cart.
You do have to add it to your cart. Okay? Just make sure everyone knows that. And also, it's with purchase. It's free gift with purchase. Okay, so that means if you just add it to the cart and check out, the order gets canceled. So it's a free gift with purchase, right? How should I store fabric in containers or on shelves? That's preference, right? I like shelving units, obviously, here. That's my preferred. I kind of do a mixture of both, personally. So my mom has the best setup, in my opinion, or the best description of the setup, which is shelving units like this for our color club, our color walls, things like that, the things that you really do love, okay? Then my mom bins everything by designer. Now, if you're not a designer buyer, that's a whole different story, but my mom is a designer buyer. So she has one bin of all of her Core Yoder over the past 4 years, right? And if you get your Tula Pink, right? And then she has her fat quarter bins as well, and then everything else will be just by color. So that's how she does it, but that's her own personal, everyone has their personal touch. I like the storage system like this. That's my preferred. I think it looks the best because you bought something, you probably won't want to look at it, right? All right, let me give you the layout here. 3 demos. These are going to be the 3 demos. There's a product coming back into our industry that hasn't been here for many, many years, which is denim. We're going to start seeing denim once more back into our industry, which we're super stoked about. Ruby Star Society, Figo, Northcott, and maybe it was Cloud9 all have fabrics coming out in the next 6 months that will have denim in it. So we probably should talk about denim a little bit. So that's demo number 1. Demo number 2 is one that we're pulling out of our vault. It's one that we did many years ago now. How long ago was that? 2 years ago. We've taught classes on this. We've done all those kinds of things, but we thought we should bring it back for our members, okay? Which is the French roses. Now, if you don't know what French rose is, this is going to be a treat for you. Now, if you already made French roses, this is a good refresh for you. In addition, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, very traditional block coming back, okay? And then demo number 3, we've gotten so many asks and requests on it, or just questions on it, that we thought we should probably do a full-length demo on it, which is the scrap tape. We haven't done scrap tape in a long time. Scrap tape is an amazing product that you can use up all your scraps in a simple fashion, and you don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about it. It's just an easy way to use it. I'm going to show you how to do that. So, denim, French roses, and our scrap tape. Now, guys, also, it's a presentation. Presentation's free. All the information's free. Everything's free on that. French roses, the pattern's only $8. Dirt cheap. It's a great pattern. And then the scrap tape is already on discount and promotion for you guys. So we didn't want to take up one of our sales for that. So what are your 3 discounts for the day? Denim is 20% off today because we're going to be talking about it. Riley Blake collections are 20% off today. And Riley Blake solids are 20% off today. And then just for kicks and giggles, we threw on, if it just says Riley Blake, you'll probably get 20% off of it, okay? So that is the extent of the deals today. They're going to drop a link to take you directly to that page as well as we go on, okay? So let's start with denim, okay? All about denim.
That's just a code.
You also, is it a code now?
I thought it was a code.
I think Zach just put, it's a code.
SYCO.
It's SYCO, the code for today to get your 20% off denim. Riley Blake collections, Riley Blake solids, and it should apply to the rest of Riley Blake as well. So SYCO is the discount code, and all the information is going to be put into the chat. So I can't click that button, can I? Over here. So all about denim. Now, guys, I'm going to try to stay out of the way as much as I can in the slides here, but we're going to talk about this, and we're also going to talk a little bit about some other stuff as well. And then I'm sure, I am positive that there are lots of you out there that are going to be joining us tonight, okay? Because we're going to do a little more interaction than we normally would do, which is a couple of my questions I'm going to give away some fabric with. But you have to purchase tonight. Make sense? Make sense? Okay.
Tricky.
All about denim. The history, the production, the weave of denim. In addition to that, sewing tips and tricks. Now, these are all things that we should know. And I'm going to just start out with a question, right? This is for one fat quarter, and it's the first person to answer, okay? First to answer, okay? Do we know, who knows where, or I guess better question, does anyone know why denim was invented? The true purpose of why we invented denim?
Was it for tents?
No, it was for a very specific group of people. For a very specific group of people, that farmers, cowboys, Wanda Marsh gets it. Miners. So they were built for the mines. People who worked down in the mines kept having problems with clothing, and a man invented the jean, as we know, for the miners.
Probably overall.
It was more of an overall type thing, but the denim that we know and love. Now, let's go into this, because there are some really cool things that happen. Also, if you want to be real technical, California and Nevada argue about this all the time, and Californians don't take offense, Nevadans don't take offense. Nevada claims jeans to be their thing, right? And California claims because it was for the mines in both California and Nevada is really what it came down to, but doesn't matter. We're going to go into this. So what is denim? Denim is a durable cotton twill fabric known for its blue color, traditionally indigo dye, popular in jeans, jackets, workwear, and recognized by its diagonal ribbing on one side. Now, there's been a lot of education that I've had to achieve very, very quickly to understand denim. Now, the thing that I want to point out with denim is that it is a twill, okay? It is twill that is dyed blue. Now, manufacturers take things very literally. I've been looking for colored denim, okay? Colored denim, red denim, yellow denim. I want these other colors. We don't have them today. They are coming. I started calling manufacturers. I say, hey, I'm looking for yellow denim. Like, we don't have that. That's weird. So I started calling everyone. Do you have yellow? Do you have red? Do you have purple? Do you have anything? Like, no, we don't have anything. The reason being is because as soon as you dye it blue, it is denim. If it's dyed something else, it is twill. Okay, that is the separation between it. If you take indigo dye and dye it, it is now denim. Everything else is called twill. Okay, talk about a marketing campaign that's fantastic, right? That the only thing that you've done is dye it blue. It's denim. It's a whole different product. So it has been a very hard time finding all the information that is needed because, well, it's very, very simple. Is it blue? It is denim. So if you ever buy a pair of pants that says it is a denim and it's red, it's really just twill and they're marketing it as denim. It's the exact same product, okay? It's the exact same product, so that's just good information to have. So if you're looking for red pants, or you're going to make yourself red pants, go get some twill. Don't try to get it from a store and ask them for denim because they won't have it. Now, it originated in France. Obviously, they invented the weave of the product, which we know as denim or twill. It became popular in the United States in the 1800s as a durable workwear by, and guys, the greatest denim maker of all time, Levi, obviously. And he patented the ribbon jeans in 1873, and it evolved into a mainstream fashion in 1950s and beyond, even still today. Now, I want everyone to read that very carefully with me. Mr. Levi patented the first riveted jean in 1973. Now, 1873. His riveted jean patent went for 100 years. So, he owned the patent to make a riveted jean for 100 years so far. Right? Now, patents expire. You can't have patents forever. And Levi still to this day, I want to say they have 20-something different patents still to this day in active wear. So this is the really cool thing. There are lots of companies still today that pay a royalty or a service fee to make jeans to Levi. Still to this day because of the processes that they've invented over the last 100+ years. It's kind of cool, right? It's kind of cool. And obviously Levi was a visionary in what he did. Keeping this thing going, we need to understand the structure of the weave here. Now, I've got a really good example on how to show the structure of the weave. And it's pretty simple. Everyone knows how quilting cotton works, right? If I say, what is quilting cotton? Okay, can anyone tell me what square goods or gray good weave that we have in quilting cotton? It's pretty common knowledge at this point. We say it's blank squared, right? Anyone know? Give it 1 second for everyone to think about it. We always say quilting cotton is blank squared. It's a number. If we don't know, it's okay. It is okay. Now, quilting cotton is what we call 60 square. Now, 60 square means that you have strips, or it's not strips, strings going down. Mary Zoss, give Mary Zoss a fat quarter as well. You have strings going down this direction that they're 60 per square inch going this way, and then you have 60 going this way. So it's 60 squared. It's what we know as the traditional quilting cotton. So what we always tell everyone is that something is 60 square, meaning there's 60 threads per square inch this way, 60 threads this way. Now, what makes twill or denim is that they have a different ratio than what we know, okay? That what we know in our industry, which is a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratio. So what that means is 60 square, you have to have 60 going this direction and 60 going this direction. Very simple. To have a denim, you have to have, and I'm going to use the same numbers for sake of argument, but it can be any of the form. 60 going this direction, 60 going this direction, then you have a cross weave going diagonally across, which is called the ribbon in a lot of cases. It gives it the rigidness of the material. In addition to that, it's what gives it it's not, I don't want to say it stretches because it doesn't, but it gives it the awesome ability
Like
to
bendability.
bendability to form to bodies and things like that, which is awesome. So they run a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1. Now what a 3-to-1 is, which is super cool, which we don't talk about in our industry per se, but it does exist in jeans, is you can have an offset square. So what that means is you can have 120 strands going this direction, 60 going this direction, and 60 going this direction. There's a bunch of different ways that you could do that, but it does exist in denim. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because, let me get back to my slide here. The reason why I bring that up is because we all know clothing. We all wear clothing. At least we should, at least out in public. And everyone knows one of the next products that I'm going to talk about, which is the different kinds of denim out there. You have hand-spun cotton fiber. You have the natural indigo. You have the woven. Oh, sorry. I'm on the wrong slide. Where's my slide? Right here is my types of denim. You have the selvage, you have the raw, you have the stretch, and the acid stone dyes as well. Now you all know these dyes. You all you all know these types of denim, right? If you ever picked up a piece of denim, like for a apron, it's normally your old style loomed salvage denim. It is the most rigid. It's what the miners used to wear back in the day. It is the most stable and durable piece that there is. The raw denim or unwashed is a little bit stiff. It fades very, very easily. It's way more about the organic side of the product than anything else. But the one I want to get to is the stretch denims. Now, I'm sure all of you guys have stretch denim at this point, right? Everyone owns a pair of stretch denim because the most comfortable jeans, they're the best fitting jeans, they're the best pants, they're the best jackets. A lot of jackets are being made for them. And to be quite honest, our processes have gotten so good on making denim that they look like denim, although they have a lot of spandex in them at this point. Now, another thing is the acid wash, stone wash, and distress, which is just the treatment after, okay? Now, the reason why I want to talk about all four of these, which really I just want to talk about the acid and the stretch, is that in our industry at least, we don't really dive into substrates very much. So what that means is that we only work in 100% cotton. Batiks are 100% cotton. Quilting cotton, our prints are 100% cotton, our solids are 100% cotton. We don't deal in substrates very much. Now, a substrate means you have your material, and a blended substrate is when you take two materials and mix them together, like spandex and cotton, to make stretch denim, which is what we know and love. You are going to see more and more of these blends in our industry in the coming months because they're really good for our industry. They're a really good product. For instance, we've seen Velvet from Riley Blake, which is 100% polyester. Actually, they're 100%. They're 95% polyester, 5% spandex, I believe is their blend. You're seeing cotton linens come back in, so that's your linen and your cotton blend together. Denim, obviously you can have spandex, or you can have a poly cotton denim, which is cool as well. You're seeing Minky, bigger than it's ever been. You're seeing other substrates, which is super important to have. Now, some of you guys are going to agree with this, some of you are going to not. Some people have opinions on it, some do not. One of the things that was on the last slide is your acid dye, your stone dye, your acid washed, your stone washed, and all the other different types where they distress the material. Now, it's just a fun fact for everyone. Here in Las Vegas, we have some mega plants that produce materials. They are warehouses that are sweatshops more than anything. One of them is a brand that most of you probably know at this point, which is American Eagle. American Eagle is a big clothing brand. Here especially, it's a big clothing brand, and one thing that they're known for is their jeans. Now, most all jeans on this side of the United States from American Eagle are built or assembled here in Las Vegas. And it's really, really cool to see. But they take these perfectly good pair of pants, and instead of putting them in a washing machine just to wash out and fade them a little bit, they put them into stone machines, which is the same thing as a washing machine, just with stones in it. And it beats the material and gives it a really, really cool look as well. So there's lots of different ways that they're texturing denim at this point, which is really cool. You're seeing lasers being put into our industry now where they're fading it using lasers. But that's a really cool thing, or really good thing, is that we're going away from the acid side of things. We used to put acids, bleaches, things like that to fade them. We're no longer doing that. We can actually stonewash them, laser them, things that are way more eco-friendly, which is awesome. Now, can you hit number 6 for me? Now we're going to go back into how denim is made in the past. Now, normally they would take a hand-spun cotton fiber and dye it with a indigo dye from plants, obviously, and weave it on a shuttle loom just like anything else. The only difference between a shuttle loom for cotton and a shuttle loom for denim is that they have that cross section, that cross weave in it. Now, one of the most popular products, or one of the most popular things about denim, is that if you ever look on the back side of denim, it's white, right? It is a white backer. Your cross weave is normally a white thread with the indigo being woven between it. Just makes for a cool look. It also makes it for strength. I personally believe there's not any scientific thing on that, right? If I was the guy that had to set up the loom and I could change one of my colors out to make it easier to see, right? Let's just be real here. The first guy was like, we're gonna put white on the back because, I can't see this. We don't have the exact reason why the white was put in originally, but it's just kind of what it is. It's just kind of what it is. Now, how is denim made today? We use big industrial machines, synthetic indigos. Now, we went to synthetic indigo strictly because of one particular reason. Indigo is one of the hardest materials to find in nature. Okay, indigo, that color, is one of the hardest to find in nature.
Which it had to have been close by, right? If they used it in the original denim, like it had to be more accessible back then.
Most denim, most indigo at this point comes out of Japan. They're known for having the best indigo out there. Selena, they'll check on that for you. They're saying the SYCO is not working. We'll double check for that. Japan makes the best indigo out there. There are other plants that you can get indigo out of, but it's not an easy color to get. However, indigo is one of the most potent products to get, meaning that if you put the dye into water, you can dye huge quantities using indigo. It's something that's super cool. But then it's woven, just instead of doing it by hand, it's done by machinery. It's actually the same weaving process as before, just with heavy equipment. And then the pre-wash, the distress, the blends, all that kind of stuff are added as needed. Now I'm going to skip this slide because we just talked about this. How to sew denim. Now this is something that I'm going to pop back over here for. Look at this quote behind me. Okay, there's 2 things I want you to take away from this as far as the next couple of minutes, which is, this is a 100% denim quilt. The only thing I did was I changed my needle to be a 90-14. That's it. It was a universal 90-14. If we want to get real specific with it, you should be using a polyester thread because it stretches, but I don't want my quilt to stretch, so I used cotton. And you should be using a denim needle. Is it required? No.
You can use an 80-12.
You can use an 80-12. It just makes your process a little bit easier. Now, if you want to, if you're not doing a quilt, you want to do a bag or something like that, I would recommend a walking foot. But pause, I would recommend a walking foot anyways. Right? Whether or not it was denim, I would have recommended the same thing. And your seam allowances can be 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. It works exactly the same as quilting cotton. We don't have to be afraid of it. Now, something that's really cool too is that denim comes in many different ounce goods. What that means is per yard of fabric, it comes out, they have a 6 ounce, an 8 ounce, a 10 ounce, a 12 ounce, a 14 ounce, a 16 ounce, to give you the different rigidness of the material, okay? So it makes it less bendy and more rough. Now, a 6 ounce denim is the same weight class as a 6 ounce quilting cotton, which is what we use in our industry. They sew the same. They sew like butter. The only difference is this has a different weave to it, and so we want to up our needle size just to help with separating the fibers for that weave. It has nothing to do with the actual hardiness of the material. It's 100% about the weave that we're focused on. Now, the reason why I say that is because as things are entering our industry, they're going to give you all this information of how you have to change your whole setup. You don't. I sewed a quilt just like this on a machine just like this in front of me. Nothing too fancy there. In addition to that, I've got some other samples because we want to make sure you guys are prepared. Same pattern. Oh, I just dropped it. Same pattern, except this is going on the kitchen table.
Ready?
I just turned it on the diamond. Turned it on its axis there, so it's the exact same quilt. You guys can see. But this is good for our, Sunday barbecue. Just throw that down. I mean, it's coming home with me, actually. Fun fact, guys. This is for the summer barbecue, which is...
This is for dinner tomorrow?
This is for dinner tomorrow. So, beautiful table runner as well. Now, one thing that I always love is Krista Watson. She's a friend of ours. She's a local. She's a quilt artist, quilt enthusiast, pattern writer. She has awards and all that kind of stuff. She's cool. Anyways, she says you buy both sides of fabric. One thing that she always told us since the very beginning is that you buy both sides of fabric. Now, the reason why I want to say that is because this denim and this denim are two different colors, right? They're two different prints. We did a dark indigo and a light indigo. And then this right here is the back side of this one. We just flipped it.
Are you for real?
That's all it is, right? That's all it is. Denim has two sides, and they're two different colors. It's the same material, same everything, but to add in depth, we just flipped it to the other side. Very simple. So you can use both sides of it. A lot of times, too, when you buy a pair of pants, right, and it's a light colored pants, you'll realize that on the back side it's a dark color. They flip it. That's all they've done. And what I personally believe is that the manufacturer screwed up. That's my personal belief. They were just pumping out pants, and they're like, why are these ones white and these ones are blue? Those are custom, right?
Those are special.
Right? You just move on about it. I was wondering about the gray. It's cool, right? Now, obviously, I've shown you a table runner. This could be a bed runner. Wouldn't recommend it. It's not soft, but it could be. Quilt here behind me. And guys, I'm going real traditional with a flannel back here. Make
Classic.
it easy. Make it easy. But also, you can make cool things with it. Can you grab on Pam's desk or a bag?
Yeah.
How about a pillow? I'll throw this underneath here so you guys can see what I've done here. How about pillow? I actually did raw edges on this one, so this is all raw edged. Little cutesy pillow. You love that pillow? Guys, I'll tell you exactly how you make this. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of denim. You layer them however you want, and then you print off a well tell off the internet. It's all raw edge. It's all raw edge. You cannot make a simpler project than that. But it comes out super, super cool. It comes out super, super cool, which is awesome. And all I did was I changed my needle, because that's how I am.
That's the one, right?
So obviously the top print isn't, but everything else about this bag is just a lightweight, a very, very lightweight denim. It's a mail kit carrier bag. It's cute, right? Cute little mail carrier bag with denim. Now you can't get a better looking bag, really.
Or a more durable
Really.
one.
It's a cute bag. But again, the only thing that I did was I treated it like a quilting cotton and I started sewing. That's all you have to do. Don't think about it. Don't overcomplicate this, because you're also gonna see. I have one more. The quilt down there. I got one more quilt to show you guys. I got the quilt with the animals on it. It's right there.
Yep.
This one's coming soon, too.
This one's cute.
This is a coming soon project because it doesn't come out for another couple of weeks. But this is all made with the backside of denim.
The background, obviously, not the animals.
So the background is a lightweight denim, right? It's super, super cool. This one's still in the works. This is actually the prototype for it. But it is super, super cute.
And you can't find a more durable quilt to lay out in
It's
the
heavy.
grass for your grandkids.
It's heavy.
Like,
Well, and I used a, this is a 10-ounce denim, which is way too heavy, but it's also for the farm.
it's for dirt.
Now,
Gravel.
how cute will this be on the chicken coop?
Are you gonna hang it?
How cute will that be? Guys, we have a big chicken coop. It's a barn quilt. Be pretty cute. I'm just saying, because the barn's red.
I don't understand barn quilts personally.
Well, until you walk outside and you see it every day and you're like, that's my
Yeah, up
quilt.
until it rains.
Huh? It won't because it can't get wet. So.
It'll also be dry.
Did you put batting in that? Well, guys, this one behind me, we put 2 layers of batting in. Because that one's going up to the great white north of Alaska, and it's freezing there. So, you can make just killer projects with this stuff. You treat it just like fabric, and you keep on going. Hit number 6 for me one more time. So, common projects like you've seen, obviously jeans, jackets, what are those called? The denim jackets with the lamb collars.
Sherpa line jacket.
Sherpa line jackets. Those are back in style, right? They're coming back.
I had one of those.
Those are coming back in
Coolest
style.
jacket ever.
Is there a 20% off automatic? No, the code is SYCO. So those are coming back, and you've seen some amazing projects that we've done. Now, one thing, just as a good kind of feel good, is that denim over the years has gotten a lot better. Okay, it's gotten a lot better. They used to use a lot of chemicals in it that they don't use anymore. Most denim is pretty much like 95% of denim now uses natural dyes, or that they're synthetics that come from natural products. They're eco-friendly. A lot of denim is becoming recycled, which is awesome. And so there's a lot of really good things that the denim community is doing just because they need to be more sustainable in the sense of how do you say that? Denim has had to become more sustainable because they are much bigger of a market than quilting cottons are. I mean, for instance, every one of us owns 1 pair of jeans and have owned at least 10 pair of jeans in our life, right? The denim industry is ahead on us on that, is that they're way more sustainable than every other industry, which is a good feel good because you're also supporting people that are doing good. Now, in conclusion, denim has a history, okay?
Guys, we're working on the code.
In conclusion, denim has a history, okay? But what's something that's awesome about it is that we can relate to the history too a little bit, and it also has history for us, okay? In the sense of, a lot of you guys saw the era of the Sherpa line jackets, okay? I bet you anything that if you closed your eyes, you could recall a memory of somebody wearing it at graduation, someone wearing that at Christmas, somebody, or maybe yourself going out and going out with friends and wearing it. For some reason in America, right, denim has something near and dear to us, right? Like we remember when we got, well, everyone remembers the very first pair of jeans that just fit you right? And so it is just an amazing product. We should be embracing it as it comes into our industry. We should also embrace the changes that are going to be affected in our industry, in the sense of we've been doing quilting cotton for a long time, and we're going to continue to do quilting cotton. However, we want some of these other substrates. We want the manufacturers to bring in some other substrates to have an amazing time and to progress in our craft and in our field. So that is the end of my demo. Thank you guys for participating in that one. Raimi's going to show you the next one. I have to take down the quilt behind me to flip it out for Raimi. However, people are asking, do we remember what this quilt is called?
No.
It's one of our free patterns, guys. It's called...
I'm pretty sure it's a Vegas strip pattern, though.
Yeah, it's a Vegas strip pattern. These are 5-inch. These are 5.5-inch finished.
It's called Vegas Steps.
I think it's called Vegas Steps is the name of that pattern. It's free. Yeah.
Last show, just as a Vegas strip quilt.
Yeah. It's the same quilt from where's that quilt? It's right there.
I know. It's the same one.
Grab it so people can see it.
But it's literally just squares.
How many yards do you need to make that quilt? Not a lot. This one, I think I got 2 yards of each one, and I had a ton left over, right? And also, do you guys see here that this is a different color? This denim on the edge is a different color. It's the back side of the blue one.
The other one?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't waste anything. Just to show you guys. Same quilt as the quilt behind me. This was the original. Same exact quilt. We recycle around here, right?
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
we recycle. So, Raimi's gonna get set up, and I'm gonna change out the quilt behind us, and we're gonna keep on going. We still got 2 demos, so.
Mine's not gonna be as long as yours.
No, the information ones always take the
long.
longest, right?
Yeah.
So, Raimi, introducing Raimi. She's gonna come on in here.
Thank you.
This is Raimi. If you don't know her,
I'm Raimi. Where have you been if you don't know me? Hi everyone. So Tiakum's gonna switch out. I put the chair right there if you need it to stand.
Yeah.
Not calling you short or anything. Tiakum's going to switch out the quilt behind me. That way I can show you guys a little bit better of what we're gonna be working on. So I taught this quilt, goodness, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, at the retreat. Okay, it's called the French Roses quilt. It was during our English garden retreat. So that was, anyway, a long time ago. So it is a very fun quilt that I love, especially for beginners, because it doesn't have to be perfect. It very much does not have to be perfect. You can mess up a lot and no one's gonna know, okay? This is a very, very forgiving pattern, and you can also play around with it. So,
What best I can.
Okay. So this is the French Roses quilt.
Give me 1
Let me
second
just step
to
out of
get
your
there.
way. Well, I'll just watch Tiakum put it up.
See our cool system here? I invented this system.
Okay, thank you. So, this is our French Roses quilt. Also, Carter just put in the chat the code is now working. He went and fixed that for us. So, this is our French Roses quilt. It is what I like to call a very elegant rag quilt, okay? All of this is gonna rag, okay? You could make the border so that it rags, but let's talk about it, okay? So, I need to go to, perfect. Don't look at my basket. Now, let me just get this out for you. So, in your pattern, it includes 3 different template sizes. 4 different template sizes, my bad. So you have a large, a medium, small, and an extra small. Now, all of these various sizes and templates are going to be your petals on your flower. So, this is where it gets fun, okay? Your template is this shape. Does this look good fun to show? Let me get a brighter one so that you can see it a little better. So your template's going to be this shape in your pattern, all right? You cut it out on paper. Maybe one day we'll have an acrylic template, but honestly, you could just get your fabric and draw a little swirly circle around it, and you're going to get the same effect, okay? It does not need to be perfect. Guys, the pattern's not sold out, so he's just checking that on our end. So, with that, if you cut it a little too close to the corner here, if you cut into it a little bit, totally fine, not gonna hurt anything. So, for our first layer, you're gonna go biggest to smallest, okay? Let me stack these up. So we have our base squares here. Nothing crazy. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5 inch square.
The pattern's back in stock.
Pattern's back in stock. Okay. This is a 9.5 inch square, okay? And all you're gonna do is you're gonna take your largest flower, put it where you want it on your square, okay? And you're gonna pin it down. Now, pin it in the center, okay? I'm gonna explain that in just a second. So you're gonna pin it in the center. Now, your template also comes with leaves. So, what you're gonna do is after you've pinned your center here, you're gonna fold them in, and you're gonna pin your leaves on so that you know where those are going. Because if you sew your base piece down first, you won't be able to tuck your leaves under after. So, you're gonna take your large flower, you're gonna pin it in the middle. Then you can put your leaves wherever you want them. You could clump them together. You could put them on the same side, put them on opposing sides, whatever it's going to be. And then you can fold your large flower in so that you know where it's going to land. And then you just want to pin your leaves down. Now, something that was brought up in class when we were doing this is that you want to make sure your leaf isn't all the way up against the edge of your square, because obviously you're going to be sewing this into a quilt, so you need to account for your 1/4 inch seam allowance there. So just make sure everything's in at least 1/4 inch. I would definitely make it more. So now that all of these are pinned, we are going to go ahead and sew the outline of each of these. Now, you're sewing right on top. You're sewing whatever seam allowance you want. I did 1/4 inch, okay? I did 1/4
I
inch.
think 1/2 inch would be the true rag, but
Yeah. Let me go back to...
your flower.
So on here, this is 1/4 inch on the quilt. You could do a half, you could do more, you could do less. It's going to depend on how much of a fray you want on the actual quilt. So we're going to go ahead and, well, you would go ahead and sew this. I have one pre-sewn just so that we can move through the demo, but I will show you that now. So sew all the way around this, unpin here, sew all the way around there. Okay? Now, Pamela, it's at the top of the page. This is what it's going to look like after it's been sewn. You can take all your pins out. You can see, got that 1/4 inch all the way around. Looking good. There's an extra leaf on this one. That's what I'm saying. This is completely up to you on this quilt. You can change it however you want. Now, the key thing for these blocks and for this entire quilt is that obviously if we're stacking things up, it's going to get bulky. It's going to get very thick very fast. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to turn it over. Okay, you have scissors. Thank you. You're going to turn it over. You're going to separate the backing. This one's already been cut, obviously. You're going to separate the backing from your top fabric, and we're going to go around and cut. I know everybody's already freaking out right now. You're going to go around and cut the backing, or the background, out of your block.
You're ruining it.
What are you doing? Yeah. Okay? So now it looks like that. Now, the only thing this is going to do is give us a lighter quilt that isn't so bulky, that if you want to quilt over the top of it, it's not going to be 5 layers thick. It's going to make it much easier, much lighter, and much smoother for the long arming process. Now, after this is done, we're going to repeat this step for our next size, okay? So we take our next one, figure out where we want it to go. I think about right there is good. And then we would pin it down in the middle and just sew all the way around it with that 1/4
Alyssa
inch.
Denton says, can't you just leave it in? You can.
You can, it'll just be
100%.
thick.
Just a long arm would have to go over 8 layers of fabric, or sorry, it would have to go over 5
5
layers of fabric.
Plus
with
your
some-
batting and backing.
Plus batting and backing, so it would be up to 7 to 8 layers. Is all. It's just a way to reduce bulk.
Yes. So you can leave it, but I wouldn't. That's what it is. So after you do that,
Well, and I think it also matters. Like if you're planning on just doing your own quilting, you can miss all of it yourself. You know.
yeah. So this one's already been stitched down, but then you're gonna do the exact same thing. So you're gonna flip it over and cut out the next layer of fabric up against the one that you just sewed. And you're going to repeat this. Put that there, sew around. Oh. So you'd put that there and sew, and then you cut out the backing, or the background, which would be this blue color. Then you're going to put your smallest one on, sew around, cut that little one out. This one I feel like is the least important to cut out. You don't necessarily have to, but I definitely would. So cut that one out, and then you have your finished rows, and the back of it looks like that. So you can see every single layer that we've had to go down and cut, just to reduce that bulk, because again, this would be very thick and dense right here, would make it very difficult to quilt. If you wanted a much denser quilt, you could leave it, you could tie it, you could long arm it, just know it's going to take longer, and you might break a needle along the way.
Oh, we did.
Oh, we did, many. So this is how you make the block behind me, and then You're going to sew them all together, finish the quilt. This is what I would personally do. Finish the entire quilt and then wash it. Okay?
Yes.
Don't finish your quilt top and then wash it and then try to long arm it and then, no. Get the whole thing done, bound, and then throw it in the washing machine, throw it in the dryer. That way all of your edges curl up. And what I always said in class is that, you know, if you mess up, if it's thicker, if it has a little bit of a wavy line and isn't exactly like straight along the edge, doesn't matter, okay? It's all going to curl up anyway. It's all going to look like this in the end and have that rag quilt look. So, this is the end of my demo. It's a very quick and easy one. And you could use any kind of fabric, any thing that you wanted. If you did it in flannel or woven, that would make a really cool like rag look.
Well, and additionally, with this particular pattern, this is one of the oldest patterns out there. It's written in the old style, and it's also printed in the old style. And what I mean by that, they used to try with pattern making.
No, Donovan.
Everything were on larger sheets, and so they would print larger sheets, and the writing style was like old school grandma type writing style, which is super cool. I mean, honestly, it almost has the look like it was typewriter typed. Just because it's been around for so long. This is such an old school pattern, such an amazing one. Everyone, round of applause for Raimi, obviously.
Thank you. Basket. I'll take these
thank
away.
you. Then you got to bag this one, just to let you know.
I don't know what that means, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But I need Carter, so.
What you got?
It's now time for, I got another demo for you guys. Oh, we got the double thumbs up from Raimi.
Oh, cute.
Okay, Carter, if you want to hang up this one for me.
Yep.
And then I'll give you this piece here. Sorry, that goes on that one, this goes on this one. My bad. Anyways, we're gonna talk about mine today, okay? Now I've used, what's the name of the pattern again? It's called French Roses. I've used this product quite a bit, actually. I'm super excited about it because I have used this one a lot. Also, I kind of fusioned this pattern or this product into other patterns. I've done it a couple of times, which I'm super happy about as well. And that is scrappy tape. Now, people don't understand it because they think about it in just such a one-dimensional type mindset because they take it quite literally for what it is as opposed to what it can become, okay? So, we're going to start off with showing off two quilts on what scrappy tape is, okay? I learned that quilt almost 18 years ago. It was my beginning quilting class. 18 years ago, right? Like, think about, that would have been what, 2004, 2005-ish time period? No, 2007? Like, that's how long the pattern's been around, and it was an old pattern then. Like, it is such a cool pattern. I love it. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and show off a couple quilts for you guys today. Here you go, Carter.
Is that Dora?
I want this one, I think. This one should be fine. This one should be fine.
That orange top?
So, again, we take this product and we say, gosh, this is how it's supposed to be used, and we don't use it for what it could be used. So this is scrappy tape. Now, scrappy tape is a fantastic product. This goes to the quote behind me. Scrappy tape is a fantastic product to get rid of, well, scraps. Okay? Now, if you look at this right here, you see these pieces. It's using the scrappy tape product, okay? But when we think about scrappy tape, everyone thinks about using it like this instead. In straight lines, which is totally cool. Makes a pretty quilt, okay?
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with a pretty quilt. But there's so much more that you can use with this notion or this product than just strips. And we're going to go into that today. So I'm going to first start with the product, and I'm going to just show you some other things that you can do with them. So, scrappy tape comes in two sizes. It comes in a...
large.
Make sure that's the right number for that. So, it comes in a large size, which is 5-inch scrappy tape. And I'm going to be honest, it kind of looks like toilet paper. Let's just be real here.
Very awful toilet paper.
It looks like a really bad quality toilet paper. It's not. It's much better than that. But it is 5 inches by, I want to say these are 20-yard rolls, something like that. It'll say on the website how much the yardage is. So this is a 5-inch roll, And it also comes in a 2.5 inch roll. Let me grab my 2.5, which is this one right here. And it also comes in a 2.5 inch roll, okay, which is awesome. Now the point behind this, I'm going to jump into camera 3 here. The point behind this is that you can sew directly onto this piece. It's going to keep everything straight for us, okay? And we can build our scraps up to make a quilt. It's very, very simple how we do this. I'm going to go back to this camera here. I've got a bucket full of my scraps. Okay, these are scraps from Soya. This is actually going to turn into a scrap bag eventually. And I've cut down a couple of pieces to make it easier to show on camera. But all you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of your scrap. Doesn't matter if it's a 1-inch piece, 2-inch piece, whatever you got type scraps. And then you can layer it on here however you want, as long as it covers up the fold. So I'm going to put it on like this. I'm going to sew directly down, and then I'm going to cut off extra of the fabric if needed. So I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, which will be over here, guys. I'm going to throw this in here, and I'm going to sew directly down. Very, very simple process. Very simple process here. Go back to camera 3. So I've just put a seam down the side of that. I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to cut it out. Nothing too fancy here. Now I always go a little bit chunky with everything that I'm doing when I'm using this product. Fold it over. You can see how I just added a cool angle to this. I'm going to cut off the edge. And then we rinse and repeat. Now, all of these little scraps here, the more that I have, you can also piece the scraps together. No problem, like I'm doing here. So I'll pull this one off so you guys can see it. I'm going to just piece those together really quick. And you can literally use up all of your scraps. See, I just pieced those together. I'm going to add one more little piece, and then I can add it into here as well. So let me grab one more piece here that I'll just add into here. Just so you guys can see, I'm just using up scraps as fast as I can. No rhyme, no reason. No rhyme, no reason to laying them out. See that that's going to cover there? And I'm going to now just sew this directly into my piece. So you can literally use any shape, any size, as long as it is fitting in the desired spot, which is what I'm doing here. And then you build out. Let me cut this piece off here. Got a little bit of extra back here, and I'm saving all these pieces that I'm cutting off as I'm going along. So I'm going to fold that back open. See, I just added a new kind of texture, new kind of design for that. Do you press between? I don't. I just stretch it all out. That's what I do, is I just stretch it out. It makes it super simple. You can do any size. You just are making it fit. Once it's to the desired length, you can do the whole thing or whatever. Then you trim it. Trimming very easy. You flip it upside down. Our strip is 2.5 inches. I'm going to grab a rotary cutter. Rotary cutter. I line up my edge just like you would doing anything else. Zip those all off. And then people are going to think that you've somehow cracked the code on how to make these just beautiful 2.5 inch strip sets crazy. Look how pretty that is. Okay, so the tape and the pattern aren't discounted. The tape and the tape is already discounted. We sell it at a discounted price already. But you make this to the desired length that you want. Understanding that all of this is still good material for this project. You can just keep using it and keep using it and keep using it. But this is what happens. I'm going to cut this off here just so I can show it on camera a little bit easier. This is what happens. Everyone stops at this being the dimension, or this being the project that we're making. As opposed to what else can we now do with this, okay? What obviously they imagine is like this quilt I just showed you here. that is just the stripes, okay? Just the stripes. There's so much more that you can do with it, okay? For instance, you can cut them, sew them together to make a block, like what you see here. This is orange dot pattern beads on a string. All I did was make strip sets and build out a block instead. Super simple. Now, additionally, you can bind with this. Imagine a binding. Let me throw this on the edge here. You can bind with this. It makes a super cool and interesting binding as well. In addition, you can cut it up to any size in any dimension that you like. It's a good way to use up all your scraps because you don't have to have a scrap bin that are all the same size or anything like that. You can simply just go with it. Now, one of my friends that I know in the industry uses this a ton, and they have the best way of doing this, in my opinion. You know, when you're trimming up and you're doing all those things and you're ending up with scraps during your project, they just keep a roll of this next to their drawer, and per project, they just start making their scrappy tape. And they make it. And at the end, it's kind of like a timestamp of all the projects that they've made over the years, right? And then what they do is they cut it up and put it into blocks, and then they make a quilt using all their scraps. It's kind of like a memory quilt at that point, which is cool. It also gives rhyme and reason to scraps, okay? Do you need to tear off the back? Nope, it stays in. It stays in. You can't fill it as soon as it's in the actual product, which is great. It also gives kind of reason or meaning to your scraps in the sense of a lot of people out there end up with scraps, and what do we all tell everyone to do with their scraps? Two things. Dog bed, right? Which I've never seen anyone make a dog bed. I'm the first person that I know to make a dog bed, to be honest. And it takes a ton of scraps, and you never see those scraps again. They're just gone. The second thing that people do is to make crazy quilts. Now, I'm all down for a crazy quilt. This gives crazy quilt kind of rhyme and reason. Technically speaking, this quilt behind me is a crazy quilt. The blocks here are crazy blocks, but it gives them a little bit more order, a little bit more purpose, and then a little bit more rhyme and reason. Now, that's a 2.5 inch, okay? Very, very versatile. The exact same thing can be done with a 5 inch, okay? Exact same thing can be done with the 5 inch. I've already went ahead and made up a 5 inch here that I'm going to show you guys. Now, this is one of my favorite ways to use this, okay? I'm going to flush up my edge. I'm going to dice this up really quick. This is one of my favorite ways to use this. I've used it quite a bit. I'm going to flush up my edges here. I'm going to be using the actual material as my guide. And again, I can save all this. I can now sew that whole strip set into my next project or into my next thing. You can really, really use up all of your material here, which is awesome. Which is an awesome thing to be able to do, especially if you're not a scrap quilter. You can be one now. Now, this is my favorite way to use this. Look how pretty that is. It's pretty. It is pretty. I know that this is 5 inches. I'm going to put it over here. That way I can do my math easier. I know that this is 5 inches wide. So I'm going to cut this into a 5 inch square. Now, everyone knows that 5 inches is kind of a magic number in our industry. We call them charm packs. So I'm going to just zip this 5 inch square. And then I'm going to get one more out of this, which is awesome. Just for demo purposes today as well. I got 5 inch squares. Now, let me pull that down. Sorry guys, I didn't realize I was so far up. 5 inch squares. Everyone loves 5 inch squares. But do you know what I love making with 5 inch squares, Rami? What do you like making with 5 inch squares? We make them all the time. Nothing?
I am drawing the blank.
Half square triangles was the correct answer.
I thought you were trying to say like what pattern we use.
Half square triangles is the correct answer. Everyone loves a good half square triangle. Now, again, we made a crazy quilt square. Okay, I'm just layering my fabric on top. Let me just draw my diagonal here. I'm doing this kind of quick here. Doesn't have to be perfect because, well, let's be honest. It's not perfect because we're using the crazy method. I'm going to go ahead and throw this onto my sewing machine. Give it 1 second here. Just so you guys can see how cool this is. I'm going to cut this in half. Okay. Look how pretty. Look how pretty that fan is on that. This one is obviously same piece of fabric, but it looks completely different. Looks completely different. Okay, I'm gonna make one more up so I can get a full block. That way I can show you guys. Just so you guys can get kind of the full picture here. And obviously we could iron and press and make it look all beautiful as well. But let's get this thing opened so everyone can see it. So it's all about the crazy look, but also keeping it within reason, right? Got a beautiful quilt here. Now you can also obviously turn these into flying geese. You can obviously turn these into pinwheels. Let me see if I can get my pinwheel block going here. I've done something wrong, haven't I? Nice little pinwheel block as well. It is such a fun technique to use to make really, really cool, very, very interesting quilts. All scrappy, but you're giving the scrappiness reason, or giving the scrappiness, you know, a purpose. What is it made out of? It's a lightweight interfacing is what it is. It's even like, so one of the lightest interfacing out there is SF101. It's lighter than that. So it's just uber, very, very thin, very, very lightweight. It's an awesome product. So it is an amazing little product here. I love it. I've always loved this product ever since I found it because you get to use things up and make them look cool. Now, beads on a string, this one right here, I showed this one to Dora Carey. I've never seen that used in that particular way. I've seen scrappy versions of those, but not ones that, you know, are using products just like this, right? Anita says, I have some of that, but I haven't used it yet. It's a great product, guys. Everyone should grab a roll of it. Just heck, if you just grab one roll and do it over the next year, right, you're getting an extra quilt just for a little bit extra for the actual material here. And you get a full net quilt for it. Now, again, I'm going to go over this one last time with everyone before we're checking out here. Does it dissolve in water? Not that I know of. Does this dissolve in water? It might. If it does, that'll be freaking awesome. Amy, do you want to check that for me?
Yeah, let me check.
I've used something that dissolves in water. It's possible. It's possible. I don't think it does. And then if it has, then I've been using it the wrong way for a long time then because, well, I've always just used it and throw my quilts in the wash, so it might just be dissolving. So let's find out. Ramey's going to test it right now. Because if it dissolves in water, it's going to be even cooler, right? We're all going to learn something today if it dissolves in water. It just makes it so easy, guys. It makes it so easy. If you're not a person that likes to cut your blocks into 5-inch and 2-inch and strip sets and all that and keep them all stored nice, you dump all your scraps in a pile. When you're ready for them, I didn't even iron any of mine. I just went for it, and it looks awesome. I used some of that dissolved and hit it with my steam iron, made a mess. Yes, if it dissolves, you're not going to want to super steam it by any means, but let's find out. Let's find out. Ramey says it dissolves in water, even cooler. So that means you don't even have to take it out. You just wash it out, which is awesome, which is probably why our quilts feel exactly the same. It's because we washed our quilts, and they probably all came out, which is awesome. It's an awesome product, guys. Everyone should, try it out. We got lots of things in the industry that might be your new thing, okay? Now, lastly, as we're kicking out here, I want to make sure we're still good on time. is that discount codes are the following. It's SYCO is the discount code. If you add the free gift to your order, it's free. You just have to purchase something that goes along with it. 20% off of denim, 20% off Riley Blake collections, 20% off Riley Blake solids are what's on sale. Now, also we added a little discount that's already the price is marked for the scrap tape, because normally they're a couple dollars more, but we gave you a little deal on that just in general. So with that, guys, we appreciate everyone. We appreciate everyone for being here, for the constant support. And next month, which is going to be really cool, I can tell you guys ahead of schedule here, is that Flamingo Toes is coming in town. And so just like maybe 2 months ago with Leslie Ryan, where we had a special guest that she filmed a video with us, we're going to have something like that as well with Flamingo Toes, which I'm stoked for. She's one of my good friends. We've been working with her for almost 2.5 years now. So it's fantastic. It is fantastic, and we appreciate everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we're going to go live here again in about an hour with a pre-D-stash. We call it double D-stash around here, but it's going to be a fantastic time. Thank you guys so much for watching.